Hello, today I'm going to cover very briefly how to do a basic setup of a standard Brother Punchcard machine. We're not going to look into any of the extras like the nit leader or the lace carriage or the punch cards, just how to get it out of the box and get it set up. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to put this here, and you can see actually what we need to do is we need to check our table. So it's very important that you have an edge on your table, that you've got some bottom to put the clamps on, and that you don't have chamfers on either the top or the bottom. It needs to be a straight table. If you don't have one of those, then get yourself a piece of plywood or similar and clamp it to your table so that you've got some nice edge for the clamps to go onto. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to lay down the machine, and we're going to lay it down with the handle facing away from us. Okay, I'm going to bring it up to the edge of the table, and then what we're going to do is we're going to open up the two clips on the back and take the lid off. Now, the lid can turn around and either go behind the machine or it can go on the floor at the back of the table. There we go, like so. And then I can show you the bits in the machine in a minute. Right, the next thing you're going to want to do is to get the accessories box, this thing here. We're going to take it off and we're going to put it on the table behind the machine, because that's got all of our accessories in that we're going to need to use. So our first job is to, if you have a carriage lock, which this one doesn't, you can take it off, but we'll stand up the handle on the carriage and we'll put it there. And then we're going to get out of our accessories box, we're going to get our two clamps. Here they are, and they'll need to be opened up. And then we're going to use those to clamp the machine firmly to the table. Now what I'll do is I'll just pick up the camera and I shall show you exactly where they go. So if you have a look on the bottom of the machine, you will see that there are two feet that are for the clamps. And we need to bring the machine so they are right at the front of the table, and then we can use the clamps to clamp the machine to the table like that. And they need to be right to the front of the edge of the table, and then the clamps need to be done up. So I'll just put the camera back, and then I'll get on with doing that. So my clamps go on like so, and then you don't need to clamp it up so hard that you put a dent in the table, but it does need to be nice and firm. And again, pushing the machine so it's right at the edge of the table, so the knitting doesn't hit the table on its way off. That's the next bit. Okay, right. Next thing we need to do is we need to turn our attention to what is in the lid, and take some of the things out of the lid so we can then attach them to the machine. So here's the lid. Okay, now for the moment we're going to ignore quite a lot of this, so let's get our accessories box out the road. Okay, there is a wire which is there, and you press it and just unhook it. Okay, and the first thing that will come out is the sinker plate. This is the sinker plate, and what we do with that is we are going to put it on the front, undo these screws, slide them underneath. Okay, and there's two little nubbins that need to go right onto it, so it needs to go right all the way in. Then we can do it up, and that's the bed of the machine set up. And then the next thing we need to do, let me show you the bits you can ignore. Okay, we're not looking at the lace carriage today, we're not looking at the lace carriage extension rails, and we're not looking at these curly bits which go into the knit leader, of which there's a separate instruction manual. But we are looking at this. So we unhook the tension mast, okay, and we take that out. Notice how it goes in. There's actually a picture there, and it's there's a little hook that keeps it in place. Okay, and what we do with the tension mast is we unfold it. So we unfold it like that, and we unfold, these wires get tangled with everything, we unfold the wires like that, and you should end up with it looking a bit like that. Okay, and then down here we fold that up, and then we just take it and we stand it in a hole in the middle of the machine, like so, with the triangle facing backwards. So you should now see we've got ourselves our tension mast. Okay, good. And then the final thing we've got to do to get ready to knit is we need to get our cast on combs out. They're in the top of the case and they just come out like that. There is a little knock in them which goes into a little piece of metal there or so it keeps it in place. And there's a big cast on comb which can come out as well, so we're going to use that when we cast on. And then finally, just to get ourselves ready, I shall talk a little bit about threading up the yarn. So actually down here I've got some yarn. It needs to be cones of yarn like so. So it will come off nicely. So balls of yarn don't work, and 4-ply is the best option. At least to start with, 4-ply acrylic. And the first thing that we do is we take it through this hole here, and there's actually little gaps that you can push it through. So you can take it through the hole there. Okay, then we're going to go up here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take it across these tension discs. These are 2 discs that are sprung together, and you can twiddle this knob to give it greater tension or less tension. Just start on the middle one to begin with. Okay, and then to keep it in there, it needs to go round through this bit. Okay, so you should now see that the yarn is going round and through, and then finally we get our big aerial. Okay, and again there's a little knock that you can put it through. Okay, it goes in like that, and then we can clip the yarn, a little yarn clip there. We can clip the yarn in, and now it's all ready to go. And when the time comes to thread up, what we will do is we will get our yarn. On the sinker plate there is a gate like that, so we're going to put the yarn in position A, where it goes all the way through into the gate like that. And we close it off, and that's it, ready to knit. Okay, on my website, which is www.vintagekm.co.uk, you will see some instruction videos on how to actually start knitting. Okay, but that is how you set up the machine. Putting it back in the box is the exact reverse. So I won't necessarily carry it around all over the place, but I shall now do that, and you'll be able to see. So we unthread the yarn, which you can do just by winding it out of the yarn tension unit. Then off comes the yarn tension unit, and it gets folded up. So this bit folds down, these bits fold forwards, this bit folds up, also down, sorry, and then that's that. Okay, and now we're going to get on and put it all back in the case. So the cast on comb, both of them go back in here with the little cutouts. Okay, and they just stay there for a minute. They'll be held in place in a minute. Then this thing goes around this way. You look for the plate here, and again there's a picture on the box of how it goes. Okay, it goes into that cutout, and the wire gets very slightly tensioned and put into that hook there. This cast on comb is going to try and fall out until I get there. Then we're undoing our sinker plate, and our sinker plate, again, there's a picture. It goes in this way up. Okay, and then we can put back the hooks, and they hold the cast on comb in place. So that's now the back of the lid of the machine ready to go. Then what we do is we take off our clamps, and the clamps go back in the accessories box. By this point you've probably got the accessories scattered all over the place, but nevertheless there's actually pictures in the accessories box of how it all goes. But the clamps go there and there. This yarn cutting unit goes in there, and we can close the accessories box down. Oops, I just hit my head on the camera, sorry about that. Okay, now final thing, we're going to take the carriage over to this end. Okay, I'm going to fold the handle down, and I'm going to keep the carriage in place by putting the accessories box on the needle bed. Now the accessories box has got some little cutouts in it that sit on the needle bed and stop it from moving. Okay, so that's that. And then finally, we just hook the lid back on and do it up, and we are done. On it goes, clips done up. Be really careful with the clips, it's so easy to forget to do them up, and then you go to pick the machine up and it all throws all over the floor. And there we go. One machine ready to go. I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much.